Guess who finally saw the Scary Puppy movie? And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know exactly what I was expecting or getting into, for that matter, but I knew that it was a scary movie in which, his story was told from the perspective of a dog, and that said dog was, the main character or protagonist, but that was about it. So I don't know about you guys, but I like it that way, right? I prefer and like going into movies or playing games for that matter without knowing much or knowing very little, the least amount of information that I need before I go and experience it or consume said piece of entertainment media. And it is not uncommon that I find myself, seeing a sneak peek or a trailer in which many, if not all of the major plot points are revealed and depicted in the next 2 to 3 minutes. And that really sucks, dude. Like, that really sucks. And I don't even know why this happens. I'm not even sure why this is even allowed by production companies. You would think like showing the whole movie in a trailer would like damage their revenue numbers or something, but I guess it doesn't because this happens so often, right? Because to me, at least, the most interesting trailers that I've ever seen and I've ever watched are the ones that create and pose a question, that create intrigue, that create curiosity, that increases that curiosity gap, as it is called, between what you know or you think that you know and the answer to that question that lies all the way over here, right? And those are the best trailers. And the first one that comes to mind, I think, and this is obviously not the best example of them, but kind of comes to mind Christopher Nolan's Inception, right? Yes, that trailer has some really Hollywood-y iconic scenes and iconic shots and stuff like that to, gather interest from, the general audience. But in terms of like the plot and the things that it is establishing, the questions that it is establishing, it does a phenomenal job with that. It creates instant curiosity. You don't know what the heck is going on. You're not sure. You have an idea, but you're not completely sure about that, right? A spy movie in dreams, with dreams, related to dreams. What the heck is going on here, right? So those are the best ones. Hands down, no doubt about it. Plain and simple. So I went blind into Good Boy, right? Like I said previously, I knew very little. And I have to say, Good Boy was a good movie. Good Boy does a lot of good things. The movie is intriguing. The movie is refreshing. The movie is entertaining. It is just a good movie, plain and simple. Now, is it going to win Best Movie of the Year, right? Best Original Script, Best Special Effects? It is not. And it doesn't have to, because what it does and it needs to do, it does well, right? So if this is the first time you ever hear about Good Boy, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown about, the synopsis, what is it about, a summary of sorts, all right? So the movie follows Indy, which is the dog in this movie, which is the protagonist, and you're seeing the movie through the eyes of Indy, right? The Indy and his owner, that goes by the name of Todd, they're living in this house that belongs to Todd's grandfather. Things start happening in the house, supernatural things start happening on the house, and Indy is trying to understand and make sense of the things that is going on. He's experiencing things, seeing things, Indy being the dog, and alongside Todd, right? But again, it is all from the perspective of Indy, the dog. Okay, so that's about it. The movie revolves around that central storyline. Again, a very simple story, but not all stories have to be complicated or complex in order to make a good movie. And this movie is a perfect example of that. It's a very simple story, very straightforward story that is just told well and that is executed well, and it uses a unique element, which is the aspect of the perspective of Indy, the dog, that you're experiencing in the movie through his eyes. On top of that, it is combining this genre that you don't see that often, right? Which is thriller genre, horror genre, etc. Usually when you have a dog movie, they are kind of like co-protagonists with a human entity or a human perspective. Also, it is like a kid's movie, right? It is not a scary movie per se, and this is what makes Good Boy unique and why also it helped it gather attention and gather traction. Obviously, a good idea is not enough to carry a movie, right? Everybody has great ideas, but it's really in the execution of a good idea, the combination of the execution with a good idea that really makes something really compelling and really unique and really something stick. But luckily, Good Boy does exactly that. It has a good idea and it goes about executing it in a very, very good manner. So I have to pinpoint 3 things that stand out for the movie for me, right? Number uno, I have to say that it's definitely the sound design. The sound in general, sound design, sound effects, and and the folly, they are all amazing. The movie does a great job also in conveying through the use of sound, the dread, the eeriness, the atmosphere. It has phenomenal atmosphere. It makes you really place yourself and makes you feel very immersed in the movie. One of the main venues that it uses to do that is through sound, right? And it is phenomenal. Number 2 in there has to be definitely the cinematography, the low perspective angle shots that really make you feel like you're seeing everything from the eyes of Indy the dog, the protagonist, seeing everything from his perspective, having all those low shot angles create a really unique presentation from a movie. And this is something that most of us maybe don't realize because we're always used to seeing movies where humans are obviously the main characters in the movie, and the perspective of shots is really from the eye level of a human being. And the things that you're seeing, whether from the eye level downward or from the eye level upward, is around a similar range, right? So you're usually used to seeing that and you really don't pay attention. But in this one particularly, since it is from the perspective of Indy and how he's experiencing the things that is happening, it is all shot very low to the ground. And it's very cool because often we may not also realize how the experience that our pets, our dogs and cats and etc. are having, our pet companions are having, is very different from how we experience the world, right? And I'll challenge you a little bit into doing a little fun experiment if you haven't done this already. If you have a pet of some kind, or even if you don't, try like crawling very close to the ground, right around your house or your apartment, and seeing how everything changes from that perspective, how everything looks so much larger, how, you know, things that you may overlook start to appear differently. And this is exactly what the movie does exceptionally well through its cinematography, which is like seeing that perspective from a low perspective, everything looks very different. And it's super unique and super cool having that, you know, having that experience. Cinematography is phenomenal. It's super cool to experience in this movie, and it's definitely one of its highlights. Numero 3, last but not least, is obviously, I have to say, is Indy, the dog itself. Seeing the expression on the shots throughout the movie of Indy, I was bewildered and also amazed at the same time of how much emotion they were getting out of this dog, right? How much fear and or happiness or dread or sadness or worry it could be conveyed on the expression of a dog. We are so used to seeing like expressions and obviously emotions show on a human face, but seeing it on a dog, it was very unique how much they do express and how much you can feel connected as an audience and go on that journey together with Indy in this case and what he was going through. It was very, very curious and unique to watch. I love that aspect of that movie. The movie does a phenomenal job of showing that. And without revealing too much, if you happen to see the movie on theaters, at the end they give you a little something extra and they talk about a little bit about the production, right? Of how they made certain things in the movie work. And it was just a freaking treat after watching the movie and experiencing it, having like, you know, a behind the curtain scene, a behind the curtain look and seeing how it was made. Because I was asking myself throughout the movie, how did they make this? How did it get this emotion from the dog? Like, wow. So yeah, definitely numero 3, super highlight was Indy. Those are the 3 main things. So should you watch this movie in theaters or should you wait for it to stream? The movie came out earlier this month. It took us along, you know, until a couple of days ago, late October, which is when I'm filming this video, to watch the movie. We were on an international trip around Europe. We went to France, we went to England. And if I sound a little bit under the weather or a little bit like rough, it's because I'm, you know, still battering a little bit of a cold that I got after we came back from Europe. So yeah, should you watch this movie on theaters or should you wait for streaming? This movie is a low budget movie. It is an independent movie. It is made by a very small team. The director is the owner of Indy, the dog, in real life, and also he is the owner in the movie. So he is portraying himself kind of in the movie there. So it is a very small production. I think they filmed also the movie in the director's house as well over a span of, I think it was a couple of years. I want to say like 4 years. It took a long time, unless I'm getting this wrong. But yeah, so I would say if you want to go ahead and support this movie and support smaller production crews or production teams then definitely this is one of those movies that I would urge you to go and do that. Because usually many movies are just part of this huge production companies that are worth in the millions and billions of dollars. And obviously you're supporting that, and that's cool and all if you want to do that. But I think we don't often see small production companies like this as more movies, usually on mainstream commercial like theater. So seeing this movie in a commercial like AMC and stuff like that, it definitely has that element of you're helping, the little guy. And I really enjoyed that aspect. I love seeing a good movie like, just like you do, but also seeing a good movie and also feeling like you're supporting, a small production company doing their passion project. That is, it is phenomenal. It is a win-win situation. Also, obviously, seeing it in theaters, the sound quality of a theater is going to be usually superior unless you have like a really amazing home theater system in your home. Seeing it in theaters, seeing it on the bigger screen is always going to be a superior experience in my opinion than just watching it at home. Again, Good Boy was a super treat to watch. I do want to watch it again. I just wanted to, talk about a little bit about Good Boy and yap a little bit about it. So that's it for me. Keep it cool, keep it suave, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!